Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to go over a method known as the Snowball Method. Well, at least that's what I call it, to try to get out of payments sooner. But before I continue, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so I can continue bringing you content like this. Now, if you stay with me through the end of the video, you're gonna notice some very jaw-dropping information that the sooner you know this, the sooner you'll be debt-free. So right here, what I have is an illustration of what some typical payments you might have, which would be a medical bill, a couple of credit cards, let's say 3 credit cards and a loan, right? These might be your typical monthly payments, and this might be the balance that you have on each one of them. Now, in order for this method to work, the way this works is once you finish paying a bill off, you don't keep the money and start spending it on yourself. What you want to do is you want to add that money to the next payment so you can get out of that payment a lot sooner. Okay, so in this illustration, we're going to assume that you are in your very last month of paying this medical bill, right? So you have one payment left, right? And on the Best Buy, you have 11 payments left. In the Target credit card, you have 25 payments left. And then on your Walmart, you have 40 payments left, and on your loan you have 50 payments. Now, how did I get to those numbers? Well, I considered it the perfect world, and I said they're not going to charge me interest, right? Of course, you're always going to be charged interest unless you're using some type of special promotion, but that's how I got 1,000 times 50. I mean, 100 times 50 is 5,000. 30 times 40 is that's where I got those numbers from, right? But let's assume you're in your last month of payments of your medical bill. We're going to go ahead and fast forward 1 month. Now this medical bill, these $50 that you were paying here, now you have those available. The mistake that a lot of people do is they keep that money and they start using it for personal reasons. And sometimes when money is tight, I get it. But if you can afford it, why not add these $50 down to your next payment? After a month has gone by, now you have a new balance. Instead of $825, now you've already paid $75 more down to this loan. So now you have a balance of $750. You have 10 payments remaining. If you were to add those $50 to those $75, now your new payment amount would be $125, which brings down your new payment count to 6 payments instead of 10 payments. Because you're giving that extra money, you're only going to have to pay for 6 more months instead of 10. You end up saving yourself 4 months, of course, of payments. And then this is looking into the future. You're looking at the first month that you were there, and then the 6 months that you used here. Now you're 7 months into your Snowball Method journey. So you just saved yourself 4 months. All right. So now now you have this total of 125 7 months later. Instead of keeping those 125, how about we add them to this $40 payment and try to get rid of the Target one sooner? Okay, so 7 months after you started this process, now your balance, instead of it being 1,000, you've made 7 payments. So now your balance, instead of 1,000, now your balance is 720. You still have 18 months left, and when we add these two together plus the 45, when we add the 50, the 75, and the 40, that gives you a new total of $165 payment instead of 40. Now, instead of having 18 months left to pay this off, now with this new payment, you're gonna pay that off in less than 4.5 months, which means you would have saved yourself over a year's worth of payments here. And then because you had to go through all this process, you're now close to a year later. So a year later, you not only got rid of this payment of your medical bill, you got rid of your Best Buy payment, and now you also got rid of your Target payment. Okay? That's how the snowball works. It starts off slow, and once it gets momentum, it continues going and going. So let's look at Walmart. Walmart, 11 months later, close to 12 months later, now your new balance is $859 because you've been making those $30 payments. You still have, in the original months left, you still have 28 payments to go. But if you were to add the 50, the 75, the 40, plus now the 30 of your Walmart payment, now you would be giving a payment of $195 instead of a payment of $30. Instead of you having 28 months to go, now you only have 4 months to go after that, right? 4.5 months. you would have saved yourself almost 2 years worth of payments at $30 a month by adding them to the snowball effect. Okay, so that means that you would a year and 3 months, close to a year and 4 months later from the beginning, you would have now taken rid of or gotten rid of your medical, your Best Buy, your Target, and your Walmart payments. Now remember, you're not adding any more to what you're sending out, you're just not keeping any, and you're trying to get rid of those payments. And finally, you get to the main one. You have your major payment, the big payment that you're giving. It's your loan, a personal loan, a car loan, whatever type of loan it is. Remember, 15, almost 16 months later, you've been giving this $100 payment. So at that time, your balance would be $3,400 instead of $5,000. Okay, so if you continue just making that $100 payment, you have 34 payments to go, close to 35. But if you were to add all these other 4 into that payment, now instead of paying $100 a month, you would be paying $295 a month towards the principal balance. So before doing the $100, you would still have 34 payments left. Now with this $295 payment, you would only have 11 payments left at that point. How many payments do you end up saving yourself? You end up saving yourself 22, close to 23 payments. And check this out. That means that 27 months after you started your medical snowball effect into all the other ones, you would have gotten rid of this $5,000 payment. And not only that, you would have almost saved yourself 2 years worth of payments on top of that. So, I mean, you can use this to your benefit. You know which bill you're very close to paying off. You know where you can add it to the next one. But just as an illustration, we started off with making the same amount of payments, and instead of keeping that money, we continue to snowball it into the other payments, and you end up being somewhat debt free, at least from these payments, a lot sooner. In this type, like if you would have just kept the money after making each payment, you would have finished paying off the medical bill and then kept the money, and you would have still had to have paid 12 more payments at this amount and then kept that money, right? So you would have still made payments for the next 4 years and 2 months. The last one would have been that loan. But in this scenario, you can actually get rid of all these payments about 2 years and 4 months into it. Clear as mud? Thank you. If you're still here, thank you for staying with me. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. But please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.